All righty, welcome into the Gary Ayd Show here on the Cave, cavetalkradio.com, and the Cave Talk Radio app. It's great to have you aboard. Gary Ayd here with you. And we got a great show in store for you today. Some OC Smash. We'll have Hunter Steele in the second hour. Bryce Seabury with his father, Scott. He'll be joining us in about a half hour. So we'll be talking to those two players of the week. And, of course, we're going to talk some Yankees, some Mets. We'll have the top five in the second hour. But I start today with the end of the Lakers season and possibly, maybe, the end of LeBron James' career. It was floated out there by LeBron himself. We'll see if it ends up being the case. Here's the deal. When it comes to LeBron, I wouldn't be surprised if, and I got this from a friend. I had thought this, but a friend of mine from high school posted it, and I totally agree. We know he wants to play with his son. He's got really nothing else left to do in the league. He's done everything you can do multiple times over. I wouldn't be surprised if he took off next year, and assuming his son is a one and done type of guy, which, you know, he'll be in the NBA after next year if he wants to be, whether he's ability qualified or not, he will be because he's close enough in ability and he has such commercial appeal for obvious reasons that he'll be there. So I could see LeBron taking off 1 year and then coming back playing 1 year with his son and then finally calling it a career. Or I could see him, as I've seen opined as well, using this as leverage, the threat of retirement that is, as leverage, to force the Lakers' hand to further improve the roster. The Lakers did a very good job under the circumstances with where they were with improving this roster. They did. I want to give Rob Pelinka a lot of credit, but there's room to improve. Specifically, its name is Kyrie Irving. Kyrie and LeBron worked beautifully together. It's the only time Kyrie has worked beautifully with anybody is with LeBron James. We know they've kind of made up over the years. Kyrie's matured. And maybe this is LeBron's way of trying to hold the Lakers to the fire a little bit and make them make that move finally. Now, there's a couple of things to that. One is, will they do it? And two, the fact that it's even a possibility that he still has that type of leverage tells you how good he still is and how much of an impact his presence still means in winning and losing. You can't even attempt to pull this power play if you don't have enough weight behind you where your presence makes a huge difference. And LeBron's presence there, not just commercially, but on the court, still makes such an enormous presence, such an enormous difference that you can wield this type of influence and power. The underpinning of this type of power play, if that's what it is the ability, through your ability to make a difference on the court. And then through your commercial value to make a difference on the bottom line, one or the other, and preferably both. And LeBron still, after the conclusion of his year 20 season, still is capable of both, which is a very, very impressive thing. So there you have it. You know, the other thing that I think is interesting is I think having a team that made this big of a run this late with that new of a roster, I think requires tweaking and not wholesale changes. Now, if you go and get Kyrie, in one sense, that's a wholesale change. In another sense, depending how you acquire him, it might not be because you're not going to keep, I wouldn't think, D'Angelo Russell. He had his moments, especially against Memphis, but he's generally not been a great addition. So you're probably going to move on from him. You're probably going to move on from Malik Beasley, a couple other guys like that. But from what I saw, you definitely want to keep Austin Reeves. It'll be a matter of if they can. I would want to keep Hachimura, and I would want to keep either the two of these three, Lonnie Walker, Malik Beasley, and Dennis Schroeder. Two of those three. Schroeder was the one that Ham clearly trusted the most and thus played the most. I think all three of those guys, given the right opportunity and the right coaching, are capable of playing that same role. And I think you need two guys who can kind of do that. So I would keep two of those three. And do it in the most cost effective way you can. I would keep I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think who else I would keep. So Hachimura, I would definitely keep him. I would want to keep Reeves. I'm keeping two of the three of Schroeder, Walker, and Beasley. Two of those three. I'm getting rid of the third. Or maybe more directly, I'm either keeping Schroeder and letting the other two go, or I'm keeping the other two and letting Schroeder go. That's probably what I'm doing. They do need a backup big, whether that's Mo Bamba or someone else. I'm not sure yet. Jared Vanderbilt, I'm iffy on. I could do without him. I've never been super impressed. I don't think Brown or Thomas or those guys have done anything to distinguish themselves. So going into next year, the guys I would definitely want on the roster if I'm the Lakers are Reeves, LeBron, Davis. I'm gonna go Walker and Beasley, letting Schroeder go. And I think that's about it. Those five guys are the ones I would definitely want to keep. I could do without Vanderbilt. I can do without a lot of these guys. I don't think I can do without the ones I just mentioned. And then you want to add to it. I would add Kyrie Irving if given the opportunity. I would. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. A lot of people won't do that. I would. I absolutely would. So I think he gives you the best chance to take it to the next level. I really do. I understand why people are apprehensive. I think he fits their system best. And I think he fits their I think him and LeBron fit together is basically the long and the short of it. I think that's basically that. So anyway, there you have it. Lakers season, of course, is over. And ultimately, I think that's, this was a successful year, is the way I look at it. As a longtime 30-year Laker fan, I look at this season as an unmitigated, unqualified success. No question about it. Particularly when you factor in where this team was for the trade deadline and what they accomplished this year. An unmitigated success. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. It's the question of the day next. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Coffee lovers, Middletown is now officially home to the home run of our favorite beverage, Days Coffee. Days' patented blend contains approximately 85% less caffeine than other coffees, which makes it better for you, yet unlike decaf coffee, still gives you that great pickup and tastes amazing. Formulated by a retired cancer pathologist, Dr. Grant Lee, Days Coffee is fermented with a patented enzyme that until now required a complex and thus expensive sourcing and production process. With Dr. Lee's formulation, this enzyme's great health benefits can now be brought to your cup quicker, easier, and cheaper than ever before. Here's how you get a hold of this game-changing cup of joe. Go over to radioonlydeals.com and get a $4 gift certificate to Days Coffee for just $2. That's radioonlydeals.com to buy your single-use digital gift certificate for Days Coffee. Radioonlydeals.com. That's radioonlydeals.com. Enjoy the preferred coffee of the Gary Ayd Show. Enjoy Days Coffee.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
Riley Gaines is asking Congress to define woman. Back in 1 minute with your sports question of the day.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-284-0523. 800-284-0523. 800-284-0523. That's 800-284-0523.
Former college swimmer Riley Gaines is calling on Congress to pass the Women's Bill of Rights. So as to clarify, the term woman is based in biology rather than personal identity. The Women's Bill of Rights would codify the meanings of several sex-based terms and would highlight differences in body composition between men and women. The bill's Republican backers say this would serve to illustrate the differences between the sexes and how those differences factor into athletics. Question: would you or would you not vote to pass the Women's Bill of Rights?
Oh, of course. I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, there's only two genders. And regardless of what you think you are what your body is. You are either a man or you're a woman. You're a boy or you're a girl. It's really that simple. And it always has been and always will be. I don't care what these people say. This bill that's being proposed is more forgiving in its presumptions and suppositions based on that language anyway. I haven't read the bill. I don't know. But based on that little soundbite, it's more forgiving than I would ideally be. But that's how you have to do politics to make things even have a chance at passing. So to me, this is a no-brainer. The idea that there could be any type of possibility that a male is going to dominate female sports, it's just not fair. And where we've gotten to as a society is we don't even have the sad. He said to use the word courage. It shouldn't take any courage to do what I'm about to say, but it does, I guess. We don't have the courage or the backbone to stand up and just admit biological truths because they fly in the face of some of our feelings or the way we would like things to be when they're not that way, which is that apples to apples, average to average, norm to norm, not extraordinary to norm. Males are stronger, bigger, and generally better athletes than their female counterparts. There's a reason why you don't see females trying to go into male sports, pretending they're males when they're biological females. You don't see that nearly as much as the other way around. Why? Because a lot of this stuff is phony. For every one that might honestly think they're one when they're actually the other, there's probably a dozen or more. For every one that's legitimate, there's probably a dozen or more that are illegitimate. They're trying to game the system. And this bill would prevent that. And notice how the bill, according to this question, is in one direction. It is to codify what is a woman, like Matt Walsh would ask, not what is a woman and what is a man. So that tells you that this is a problem that is by and large one directional. It is males trying to compete against females. And in many cases, it's for the competitive edge, very significant edge in most of the cases, that provides them. And that's the bottom line. And if we're not adult enough, authentic enough, honest enough to admit that truth, then that's the first problem. I was reading not that long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, about a ongoing and increasing problem in prisons whereby males are saying they're females, and because state governments are weak and bow to these idiots, they are then putting those male inmates in with female inmates, many cases as roommates because they're both females. They're not both females. And the male is saying that so he can have sex with a female. And there's been documented examples of these inmates admitting just that, spelling it out just that way, because that's how unwilling to admit the truth we are. And this does nothing but serve a great disservice to our female population. It's not fair. It's not just. It's not inclusive. It's not diversity loving. It's wrong. Plain wrong. There's nothing else to say about it. And anyone that's not willing to admit that and then take action to correct it is part of the problem. They're not part of the solution. They're not accepting. They're not tolerant. It's none of that stuff. That's what they think they are. That's why so many people get behind this crap, because they don't want to be perceived as being meanie. But what you're doing by getting behind this crap, or even just staying silent on it and not pushing against it, is you are creating oppression for women. You are. That's what you're doing. In so many words. And ultimately, common sense and just natural observation of men competing in women's sports over these last 5 to 10 years will tell most people the truth. Almost everyone understands the reality. The problem is, because of the social pressures of speaking out on that truth that you know to be accurate, most people, or a lot of people, will not do so. They put their head in the sand, they rationalize it's not affecting them, and they do nothing about it because it's dangerous to do anything about it, or you're afraid of what it could cost you or how it will make you look. When we're talking about the ability of our females to live in a fair and equal society, I don't think it's a question of whether or not this is going to cause some inconvenience for me. It's a question of right or wrong. And this is plain correct, a bill like this. It's no less correct than all of the legislation and battles, both public and literal battlefield battles, that led to equality under the law for our African American brothers and sisters in the U.S. This is another version of the same tired old truth, which is one section of our population likes to make different groups less than equal for whatever reason. And the genius of the way they go about it now is they make that group that they want to make less than, in this case, women, they make them less than by outwardly professing they're trying to make them equal to. In this case, it's trans people, right? So they make them less than by making them publicly act like they're making them equal to something. When in actuality, what they're doing is they are condoning and enabling mental behavior that is not based in reality, that needs to be treated. And they are making it socially unacceptable to provide the treatment that these people so desperately need, which is to be told in a kind, loving, professional way, hey, I understand you might feel this way, but it's not true. It's not accurate. Now let's figure out why you feel this way and make you feel better. And that's just the ones that are real. The other thing that has spawned from this, and I think it's the overwhelming majority of the quote unquote trans population now. The other thing that spawned from this is that you have a group of people that see an opportunity to either get attention, get over on the system, win an athletic competition they wouldn't ordinarily win. In the case of the prison, get sex with the gender they're attracted to, females in the case of a male pretending to be a female, that they wouldn't otherwise have access to getting. So I think there's way more people that make up saying they feel like they identify as the other gender than actually mentally feel that way. But even the people that actually feel that way, they're wrong, because you're not the other gender. And there are ways of fixing that and treating that do not involve capitulating to it and doing gender reassignment surgery. And all that to bring it back to the question of, would I support a bill that codified women's sports? Yes, you have to. We have to. It's not fair otherwise. And the fact that we even have to do this speaks to how far from reality society has waned. The reason this isn't already a law in the books is because 10 years ago, the idea that we would need a law like this, the very idea that someone would bring up the option of a guy being a girl or a girl being a guy would have gotten you laughed out of the building and asked you, like, what crazy show did you watch? That's how crazy it's gotten. So, yes, I would support this. Yes, we all should support this. It's healthy. It's normal. It's the right thing to do. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. Coming up next, we have Bryce Seabury and his father, Scott. And that is what's on tap. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
Coffee lovers, Middletown is now officially home to the home run of our favorite beverage, Days Coffee. Days patented blend contains approximately 85% less caffeine than other coffees, which makes it better for you, yet unlike decaf coffee, still gives you that great pickup and tastes amazing. Formulated by a retired cancer pathologist, Dr. Grant Lee, Days Coffee is fermented with a patented enzyme that until now required a complex and thus expensive sourcing and production process. With Dr. Lee's formulation, this enzyme's great health benefits can now be brought to your cup quicker, easier, and cheaper than ever before. Here's how you get a hold of this game-changing cup of joe. Go over to radioonlydeals.com and get a $4 gift certificate to Days Coffee for just $2. That's radioonlydeals.com to buy your single-use digital gift certificate for Days Coffee. Radioonlydeals.com. That's radioonlydeals.com. Enjoy the preferred coffee of the Gary Ayd Show. Enjoy Days Coffee.
All righty, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, and Bryce Seabury and his father Scott are with us. Hey, Bryce, how are you?
Good.
Good. Now, we spoke a while ago, didn't we? A couple of weeks ago, was it? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay, very good. That's fine. So tell me, how's the season going so far?
It's going good.
Awesome. What where have you been playing mostly? Like what positions?
I've been playing catcher, short, and center.
Catcher, short, and center, all three important positions. Which one's your favorite to play?
I like catching.
Yeah. What do you like so much about catching?
I like to throw people out.
There you go. Do you have a lot of people try to steal on you?
Only on pass balls.
Pass balls. Got it. Now, do you bat right-handed or left-handed?
I throw righty, bat lefty.
You throw righty and bat lefty. Got it. what's your favorite part about baseball?
Hitting.
Yeah, I like hitting too. When you're at the plate, what's your approach? Like how are you trying to go at the at bat?
I'm, I'm trying to look for something inside or middle. Outside, I only look for that with two strikes.
Mm, okay. Very good. What's your favorite pitch to hit? Do you have like a sweet spot that you really like?
Fastballs.
Fastball, fastball down like on the outside part of the plate or
Inside part of the plate,
inside.
I like to turn on it.
Turn on the pitch. Yeah, so you're trying to pull it down the baseline then.
hmm
What what's the to you, what's the hardest part about baseball? What do you spend the most time practicing?
Trying to perfect my hitting, my stance, and getting through the zone, the bat whip.
Mm. Well, what's your batting stance now? Are you open, closed, up, down? Like how do you
I'm
approach the
kind,
hit?
I'm middle, and then I kind of have a little leg kick.
Okay. Is that leg kick about timing or about generating power?
It's not that big. I have a little leg kick when I load up on the backside to generate the power, and then it all comes through.
It all comes through the zone. So your wrists come through last then. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Cool. What's your how long have you been playing with the smash?
about 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Awesome. And what's your favorite part about travel ball?
I like tr- I like the tournaments.
Yeah.
We get to go to like Jersey. This year we're going to Ripken. That's
Awesome.
fun.
Oh, that's great. When are you going there?
I go in June, sometime in June.
Wow. Cool. Have you been there before?
No, it's our first year.
This is your first time going there. That's cool. Well, enjoy it. Have
Yeah.
you been to Cooperstown yet?
No, that's like 13U.
Okay. Yeah, that's you got a couple years for that. But
Yeah.
have you ever been to Cooperstown like just with your family, like as a visitor?
I think I've been there.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
hmm
Are you a Yankee fan or a Met fan?
Yankee.
Yeah, Yankee fan. See, a number of years ago when I went with a friend of mine, we're both Met fans, and we saw Mike Piazza getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. That was really cool. Um, who's your favorite player?
I like Anthony Volpe.
Anthony Volpe, the young shortstop. Very, very
hmm
good. Cool. What makes him your favorite? What do you like about him?
I like his play style.
Like his fielding and hitting, or
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's really good. He's also very I guess very important to the team, right? I mean, he's like an
hmm
important piece for them. Well,
People say he's the next Derek Jeter.
well, I certainly hope not as a Met fan, but he might be. One was enough for me. He beat us up enough. We don't need a second one. Uh,
Yeah.
what's your favorite baseball memory? Like a game, a moment, a play.
Mm, my favorite memory. It was probably winning my first championship with the Smash.
Okay.
It was our summer championship.
That was this past season. That's awesome. And what age group were you playing with then?
Last year,
Yeah,
it was 8U, and the year before that was 7U.
7 years. That's really cool. So, do you remember like the last out, or like what do you remember most about it?
I remember both of the championships for summer. They were both on strikeouts.
Oh, cool. Now, were you on the were you in the game at the time that it ended? Like, were you playing? What position were you playing when the game ended?
I was playing short when the first one ended, and center when the second one ended.
Mm, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. When you're playing shortstop, you have like a real close view. That must have been like really fun.
Yeah. hmm We did. I remember the second one. It was last year. we did a doggy pile on the pitcher's mound. That was fun.
Yeah, those are cool. I'm sure it wasn't so much fun for the guy at the bottom, but getting crushed.
Yeah, that was the pitcher at the bottom.
Oh, that's cool. I guess my last question for you is, where do you, what do you most like about, like the actual travel part? Do you like the seeing all the new cities, or the actual going and coming back, like hanging with your teammates? Like, what's your favorite part about the actual travel that you said you like so much?
I like meeting new teammates. Like this year, CJ and Bryce Ogilla came on to the team, and they've been a great part to the team. And it's just meeting new people and traveling to get to see everywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, when's your next tournament?
This weekend, actually.
Okay, where you guys playing?
It's I don't know, but all I know is it's the Memorial Day tournament.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, I'll be in Baltimore myself this weekend. So, good luck this weekend. Enjoy it, get some wins out there, and have fun.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Bryce. And that is Bryce Seabury. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on the Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then, if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
All righty, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show. It's good to have you aboard. And one thing that always makes me kind of crazy is when you see this really only in baseball. There's no other sport where this is even a thing. When I go and see a guy getting sent down, or more commonly, not called up, not for performance reasons, but for financial long-term control reasons, service time manipulation reasons. And I know there's been some things that have been done about that to try to make it less pronounced, but it's still a thing. It drives me crazy because if you're trying to win, or you're just trying to put your best players on the field and attract the most fans you can from your fan base and grow your fan base, you can't be doing this. You can't be sending people down or not calling them up purely for financial reasons. It's a bad look. It's a terrible look. And I, for one, hate it. And now, why do I bring this up? Well, the Mets are discussing potentially sending down Alvarez for these very reasons. Now, how's he been performing? He's been up and down, but the pitchers love him. And the truth of the matter is, he has made a big difference on this team, particularly behind the plate. There was a quote that says the staff would be angry. I don't know who this is attributed to. One of the Mets pitchers, if he was sent down. Look, he's the best catcher in the organization. He's the guy that you need to be building around. There's no one else. He's the guy. And just let him play. Let him play. Don't be talking about sending him down and this, that, and the other, making up excuses. No, he's the guy who should be not only in the major leagues, but in the starting lineup every night in the major league uniform. And that's the end of it. They have Gary Sanchez in at catcher today. Yes, that Gary Sanchez. Oh, good grief. Like, you had a front row seat. You're just down the subway. You saw what this guy can and more aptly can't do. What is wrong with you? Why? It just makes me crazy. It really does. And I'm upset the Mets signed this guy. I'm talking about Sanchez now. I don't understand. Is he hurt? No. Why is he out? There is sentiment among many of the veteran pitching staff that Alvarez should stay. Without wanting to appear to disparage other teammates in public, these vets say they like throwing to Alvarez and do not want the Mets to send him down. Since April 23rd, 1 month ago, Alvarez is hitting .279, a .953 on base percentage, which is 20th best in MLB over that span with a minimum of 60 plate appearances. He's earned that starting job. This is not okay. If you want to have Gary Sanchez there, the platoon, whatever. But Francisco Alvarez needs to be the starting catcher on this team. He's one of their best players. And I mean, it's just that simple. I really don't understand. Like, I just think there's certain guys, and usually a prized catcher is chief among them, that you want to keep up. You want to keep with you. And the Mets play tonight against the Cubs, starting a series with them. So that should be fun. We'll see how that plays out. But Alvarez is not in the lineup tonight. It's Gary Sanchez. It's Tyler McGill versus Drew Smyly. Smyly, 2.86 ERA. McGill is 3.89 ERA, 5-2. Smiley's 4-1. Pretty good pitching matchup. Worth noting that a lot of the Met players have hit pretty well against Smyly. Nimmo, Escobar, Lindor, Alonso, and Starling Marte all have significant plate experience and significant success against him. Escobar, by far the most. He's 8 of 15 or 8 of 14, actually, against Smyly with 4 home runs. He's absolutely ripped him to shreds. He's got a .813 batting average with runners in scoring position. It's pretty insane. Or runners on base, excuse me. He's hitting .571 overall against Smyly in his career. Francisco Lindor is 5 of 15 with 3 RBIs. Nimmo's 3 of 10. Pete is 3 of 11 with a home run. And Marte is 4 of 15 with an RBI. So a lot of good numbers against Smiley. So if you're looking at placing an over-under bet, this might be a good time to bet on the Mets. I don't know what their direct over-under is. The over-under in the game is 8. I don't know if you can bet on just the Mets over-under, but probably not. But because inverse is definitely not true. This Cubs lineup does not handle McGill well at all, but that's mostly because no one has seen him other than Dansby Swanson, who of course was in the division last year, and he's 1 of 7, and no one else has seen him. So McGill is basically a mystery to most of this lineup, and the one guy who he's not a mystery to, he's a mystery to in another way. You can't seem to figure him out. That's Swanson. So things line up pretty good for the Mets today. I'd expect them to win this game. They've been playing pretty well of late. But the bigger thing is let's keep Alvarez. Let's keep him in the show. He's earned it. Not only has he earned it to be in the show, he's earned it to be the starting catcher. And he really should be. There's no injuries. Just straight BS. Maybe this is a rest day. Fine. But if he gets sent down, there's going to be a lot of angry Met fans. And from what I'm reading, a lot of unhappy Met pitchers. So there you go. It's something to keep an eye on for sure. Let's see. One thing I'll also say, if you're a fan of a team, aren't you sort of expecting one of your best players to be available? I don't know. It's just not okay. It's just not okay. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get hour 2 started in just a little while. We're going to cut hour 2 a little bit short. What do we got the rest of the way? We got the death of a legend. Might not be who you're thinking about. We got that, and we have Hunter Leal joining us as well with his mom, Suzanne. That's coming up next. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave. Alrighty, hour 2 of the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, cavetalkradio.com and the Cave Talk Radio app. It's great to have you aboard. A lot of good stuff to get to here. One thing I was reading during the break, and this won't be a surprise to anyone, there are major ramifications if LeBron James does decide to retire. And this will probably be the case no matter when he eventually does retire. But this is like crazy stuff. So this is according to Front Office Sports. This would be a seismic blow to the economy of the NBA. James has, despite his age and some injury concerns, been a massive force for league business. The Lakers are among the leaders in home and away attendance, local television ratings. Now, part of that is the Laker brand itself. We know that. But James himself personally boasts a Twitter following of nearly 53 million people. 53 million. That's the most of any American athlete. He also led all NBA players again this year in All-Star Game fan voting and topped the league's jersey sales for the second half of the season. He'd also be walking away, if he retired, from potentially 2 years of contracts totaling just south of $100 million. He's under contract this year at a rate of $46.9 million. And as a player option for next year at 50.7. And of course, he's talked about wanting to play with his son, who is playing at USC next year, but would be available for the draft ostensibly the year after. And the Lakers happen to be in the bidding to host a 2025 All-Star Game, should LeBron play 2 more years to allow for the option to perhaps play with his son. So there's a lot to consider. But I understand why he might decide to retire. What else can he accomplish? What else can he do? Win another title, great. But what else can he do? He's won 4 of them. He's won 4 MVPs. He's the all-time scoring leader. His statistics are unquestionable. His he can only go down, right? And that's only to the extent that the public screams and cries that he's going down. In my opinion, there are players, coaches, people in all walks of life, a select group who eventually attain infallibility in their profession. They eventually attain the level of unassailable. And wherever that line is, LeBron crossed that line a long time ago. And he might just be feeling the effects of a tough series, a long year. I'm not sure, but I understand where he's coming from. If he retires, it's going to have a major impact on the league. Just understand that. Major impact. So, anyway, Rich Anselmo has joined us. What's up, Rich?
And he's back.
He's back. What's going on?
How are you today, good sir?
Not too bad. We're just talking. I was looking through Front Office Sports and some of the potential fallout of a LeBron James retirement, which he's, contemplating.
He's not retired.
I'd be surprised if he did, but he did say, personally, going forward with the game of basketball, I've got a lot to think about. Which isn't exactly saying I'm thinking about retiring, but it's certainly close enough to it that, it's not, this isn't made up. But there's a lot of reasons not to, including almost $100 million of potential salary if he wants it.
He's a billionaire. I don't think.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is $100 million, as much money as that is, doesn't even matter. That's what's. I was just gonna say that. Imagine being so wealthy that $100 million is irrelevant. We're close to it.
When you came out in a closeout game and you played that well,
Yep.
1 assist away from a 40-point triple-double.
And played every second of the game too.
Yeah, I think he came out for a minute in the second quarter, and then,
no, he played 48 minutes.
Oh, I think it was Jokic that came out for a minute in the second quarter.
Yes.
Yeah, he played the whole game.
Played 48 minutes.
Yeah, so much for him not being in shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's okay with that.
He's not retiring. He's still playing. If he was playing like Melo in his last couple of years,
yes,
he would step away because I don't think he'd let himself play like that.
Right.
He's got things to think about probably with this roster and going forward and knowing his contract's coming up as well.
Yeah, well, he's got this year under contract and the following year is a player option. Now, it bears noting that following year, that option year, would be the first year his son would be eligible for the draft too.
Right.
So I'm assuming that option, if he gets to that point, he'll
Would be
see
to
where
go
his
where
son's
son's drafted.
Yeah, you're right, exactly, and then end up his career that way. To me, at this point, that's just 2 more years. That makes sense to do.
Unless he wants to play with the second one, then it's 5 more.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to do 5 more years, but I think 2 more seems logical.
You doubting he can't do 5 more?
I mean,
years? I'm not.
He probably could. I'm sure it's exhausting. I'm sure what he puts in to stay at this level, this deep, is a lot. It's just a matter of will he want to continue to do that. I have no doubt he could if he wanted to. I'm never going to doubt. I'm never going to doubt LeBron James as a basketball player. There's nothing to doubt. He's a singular talent that we're not going to see again.
That's why when you made that comment the other day about what people were saying about his legacy, well, number one, the first mistake you made there was you're reading quotes on the internet. Number two, you actually think these are from people with a brain. Answer me one question.
Mm-hmm.
1 week ago, before this, the Lakers knocked out the Warriors in the previous round.
Yep.
Did that alter Stephen Curry's legacy?
Apparently not.
Then why would it alter LeBron's?
Because there's one reason for this and one reason alone. There's no one else that threatens the Jordan fanboy legacy other than LeBron James. That's the only reason. Because he's a threat. That's it. There's no other reason. That's what powers that. There's nothing else. Curry's not a threat. Durant's not a threat. Harden's not a threat. LeBron is a threat to their boy. And that's where that comes from. And to an extent, the NBA's boy. They've made...
That's the problem.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's it.
You've just divulged the problem.
Right. The NBA made no bones about it that it was creating a marketing blitz unlike anything ever created around Jordan, and Nike codified that and made it permanent. And
yes,
it's been great business. I mean, there's a lot that you could say about that. It's, from a league's perspective, it's great. But what it's done is it's caused this race to the bottom, linear thinking of basically devolving the game's conversation into one topic, and now it's become really just 2 guys, and that's my point. LeBron is a threat to that, and he's the only one since Jordan that has been, and that's why he's disparaged and tried to be knocked down the way he is, because he is the only one that's a threat. No one else is a threat. Everyone knows Steph Curry's not as good as Michael Jordan. Everyone knows that. No matter how many titles he wins. LeBron's a threat. And I think there's a chunk of the Jordan fan club that knows deep down he is better than Jordan and probably always has been, but they'll never admit it. And so it bothers them because this is such a part. It's part of their identity. People become very wrapped in their favorites. I mean, we all do to some degree or another.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, the volume of accomplishment of reality has to hit you over the head. I mean, I was looking at a really interesting post today of a handful of all-time greats in their age 38 season. The names were Jordan, Dirk, Duncan, LeBron, Kareem, Kobe, Bird, and Magic. So there's 8 of them.
Bird played when he was 38.
No, that's what I was saying. 3 of them were retired. They weren't even in the game anymore. Including Kobe Bryant, who was 37 when he retired.
Yeah.
The others were basically they showed their key statistics and where their team finished. The only one, and this doesn't surprise either one of us, the only person who's ever approximated LeBron's longevity of sustained excellence is Kareem. And he lost in his age 38 season in the Western Conference Finals, averaging like 24-9 and shooting 55%. A representative, not quite a prime season, but close enough.
Yeah.
Duncan was like averaging 11 points out in the first round. Jordan was averaging 20, missing the playoffs with the Wizards. And LeBron just averaged 30 and on 50%. And as you said, had a 40-point triple-double, saved 1 assist.
Yeah.
And in the Western Conference Finals. And that's a failure. That's the standard we're holding this guy to. So the
funny thing is he did that with his second player.
Yep.
Shooting 40% from the field.
Right. Yep.
And not really having a good game.
Davis is frustrating. He always has been. He can be great and he can be invisible. And that's why it's not because he's their best player that he's the key to the team. It's because he's their best player that's not consistent. So when he plays at his best, they win because LeBron is going to play good. Like basically.
Right.
Almost never do you see LeBron have an awful game. It almost never happens. Davis goes invisible.
He may have a subpar shooting.
He'll have a bad shooting game here. Like he had a lot of struggles in this series with his shooting. But there's never a point where he's like invisible. Davis goes invisible for whole games. He'll go out there and have 11 points and 5 rebounds. Like, that can't happen. That shouldn't happen. He's way too good for that to happen. It doesn't make any sense. But it happens a lot. That's why he's the key to the series. Because when he plays to his abilities, they're hard to beat.
And having 2 out of 4 subpar games is not going to get the job done.
It's not going to get the job done. Not against a team like Denver.
No.
Denver's wicked good.
Yeah, they are.
And I mean they're wicked good. And they're hungry too. So, and kudos to Mike Malone. Mike Malone's a good coach. He's been there a long time now.
Yeah.
What has he been there about? I have to look it up. Probably about 6 years.
8 years.
8 years. Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah. He better hope he doesn't win the championship. Otherwise, he'll be fired next year. That's the trend. He won the title the last couple of years. All right, off with your head. We gotta go.
Hey, do you care to mention one of the guys that's up for a coaching job?
Oh, your boy, your guy. We're not sure if he can win a game 7 yet. We don't have enough evidence yet. We have to give him an 11th shot to win a game 7.
No, not him.
Oh, no. Who are we talking about then? I don't know who you're talking about then.
I sent it to you today. He's a special kind of stupid.
Oh, no. Not my guy. Don't do it. Oh, this guy. Oh, what a doofus. Yes, JJ Redick. Magic Johnson can't be a top 5 player all time because he didn't average 20. So I guess
talk about appealing to the sub-millennial generation or trying to.
Idiots.
When he's purely not part of that generation.
Let's go ahead and say that Bill Russell's can't be a top 5 player either then, right?
Right. Oh, never. Never.
What an idiot. Oh, what an idiot.
I'm an equal opportunity. I'll call you out guy. I called out Mark Jackson.
Yeah, that was
who,
stupid too.
If he's that stupid, why would I ever want him to have a coaching job? And 2, I'm going to call out this clown too, because he's just that.
Oh, total
It's
idiocy.
all he needs are the shoes.
Oh man, unbelievable. So we got
And the Nuggets now.
Yep.
Thank you very much for sweeping. You have 9 days off.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Because this thing doesn't start until close to June.
Well, that's probably, I would imagine, to assume a longer series in one of them.
Right. These schedules are made well in advance.
Right. And I mean, when was the last time both conference finals ended in sweeps? I mean, obviously the Celtics haven't been swept just yet, but it looks that way. Like it's been that thing doesn't happen very often. That would be a good thing to look up. But I'm gonna guess it's been a long time.
I would say so. Both teams, yeah. And Miami can win it tonight.
Yep. I expect that they probably will.
I wonder if Boston summons up the inner strength that the Lakers did yesterday. Because the Lakers did not go easy.
No, they didn't.
They couldn't hold a lead again, which made my prediction this would be a gentleman's sweep wrong.
No gentleman's sweep. Savage sweep.
Oh, yeah, they were gentlemen.
No gentlemen's. Yeah, but that's the thing with the Lakers Nuggets series. All the games were close. I mean, even the one game that the game 3 was the biggest margin of victory, and it was only 11.
Yeah.
You know, all the others were, I think, 5, and 2.
But the thing is, I saw people saying today, and again, I blame myself for reading people on the internet. Geez, they won despite Jokic. He had a terrible game.
Yeah.
Triple doubles are always terrible. You're not doing anything for your team.
I hate when I have those terrible triple double games. What a mess.
Why? Because he didn't score 40.
Yeah, right.
It makes no sense to me.
Stupid. So all there is stupid. But I'll tell you this: a Denver Miami finals would be very interesting. And can we put one other thing to bed too? Going into the conference finals, there was nonstop talk about how the league was going to make sure the Lakers won, how they were going to make sure the Celtics won, all this other stuff. Oh yeah, that went really well. Good job, NBA. Your fix didn't fix anything. Both got swept. I'm just going to call it now. Maybe the Celtics will win tonight. Obviously, that hasn't been done yet, but it feels like it's going to be. But I mean,
do you think it's going to hurt ratings if it's a Denver Miami final?
I do.
I don't think it's going to hurt as much as you think.
No, I don't think it's going to be like Spurs, Pistons 2005, because these teams, particularly Denver, is very exciting. And Butler has a cult following. But I do think it will be probably the worst outcome from a ratings potential that could have come from this Final Four. Purely based off of mass audience potential.
Worse than Golden State, Toronto?
No, I said from this Final Four.
Oh, okay.
So
because one country didn't even count.
Right. No, I'm talking about of this final group in the conference finals. Any combination that could have come from that, I think from a purely ratings only standpoint, mass audience standpoint, this is the worst possible outcome.
Anybody who's watched any of these conference finals and hasn't found both of these teams incredibly intriguing just doesn't know what to look for.
Denver's awesome to me. I'm not really into Miami. But like they're obviously really good, and I know that. But I don't like their style as much. I don't like. I feel that they pretty much didn't try in the regular season and were essentially rewarded for it, and I don't respect that. But
They had to try enough to make a playoffs out of 18 of 30 teams.
well, you mean
20
six?
of
You
30
mean 16? One out of because it's 10 teams that make the playoffs in each conference.
Okay, well then 20 of 30 teams.
Right. I mean, that's 2/3 of the league. I mean, the NBA has too many teams in the playoffs, but all sports are like that. The only one that's really not like that is baseball.
It's baseball.
Yeah. But Denver, I love. Denver, I've liked this roster for a number of years.
I have as well.
I have no problems with Denver. The thing I like about them is they give you a representative effort every night. I don't feel like they cheat their fans.
I think Miami does too.
Well, they have in the playoffs, but like
Yeah, but that's all that matters.
well,
right
see, to
now.
me, that's why I don't respect them as much as I respect Denver. Like the Lakers situation was different because they effectively had a whole different team a month before the season ended because of their trade deadline. Miami's roster was more or less what it was most of the year. So, like, I don't.
Butler and Lowry missed some time with
Well, no, but
injuries.
I mean, everyone has injuries, of course, but I mean,
and for some reason they decided that Duncan Robinson was no longer part of their team.
right until he was again.
And boy, is he.
Yeah, and boy is he, right? So, but I personally enjoy watching Denver a lot. So I'm totally rooting for them in the finals. There's no question about
I
it.
enjoy watching both teams.
Like even if
I
Boston pulled
I
us,
love the way Miami drives and kicks. They get the ball to the right people. The shooters don't have to, they just have to get to their spot. And they run it incredibly well. Both teams run their offense amazingly well. And both teams have unselfish stars.
Yep, no, that's it. I mean, I was talking to my friend from college today. I used to play a lot of basketball with them. If I could play with one player in the NBA right now, assuming I'm a role player, it would be Jokic. Because if I make the right cut at the right time, or if I find the right hole in the defense, I'm getting the ball when I'm supposed to get it in a position for me to score.
Yes.
And if I had a second choice, it would be LeBron for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
Either one of them. That's a coin flip. So it because both of those guys create better. I think they're the two best passers, playmakers in the whole NBA, along with Luka Doncic. I think those three guys stand out as NBA playmakers right now.
In fact, LeBron talked about that in his post game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone asked him, what did you learn about Jokic or something? And he said, nothing. I know how good he is.
Yeah, he talked about him being a great passer and him being a smart player who makes the right play,
mm-hmm.
and one who knows how to exploit someone's mistakes.
Yep.
Which is funny because he was pretty much describing himself.
Yep. I mean, these two are the best players out there right now as far as playmaking is concerned. And I would say right now, Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA.
I've been saying that for 2 years, but for some reason this year, everyone's been saying I was wrong.
I mean, the only other guys that are even in the conversation to me are Giannis and Luka, as far as right now today. But to me, Jokic is the best, along with Giannis. Those two, I think, are kind of top of the heap right now.
So, I think if you add up the season and the postseason, Jokic and LeBron were the two best players.
Well, LeBron certainly has a case, as he always does. But
I mean, he did miss time during the season.
Yep. But there you go. All right. Well, let's take a break. We got one more guest to get to. We got Hunter Leal of the OC Smash and he'll be joining us momentarily. And we'll finish up the show with some a death of a legend I want to talk about. And some Yankee stuff, some news you can use. So we got a lot still to get to. Hunter Leal is up next. Back after this, the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All righty, welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. Great to have you aboard. And we are joined now by our OC Smash Player of the Week, one of them, Hunter Leal. Hello, Hunter. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, first of all, thanks for joining us and congratulations. Hey, I'm curious, when did you first start playing baseball?
I started playing baseball 5U, and it's been around 6 years since now.
Okay, so you're 11U then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. And what positions do you play?
I play shortstop, third base, pitcher, catcher, and maybe first base.
Maybe first place, all over the place. What's your favorite spot to play?
Pitcher.
Pitcher? Are you lefty, righty?
Righty.
Righty. Okay. Very cool. What's your out pitch? When you get someone down to 2 strikes, what are you trying to get them out with?
Try to get him with like a changeup.
Yeah. Cool. Do you throw that high, low? Like what do you try to place that usually?
Usually I like to place it like outside and low.
Yeah. It can make him chase a little bit.
Yeah.
When you're not pitching, what's your favorite field position to play?
Shortstop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Now, do you throw righty or lefty?
I throw righty.
So you throw righty. You do bat righty as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think is the hardest part about baseball? What do you spend the most time practicing?
Like my swing in baseball.
Okay. So you practice a lot of hitting. What about pitching? Do you spend a lot of time with that too?
I do bands.
The stretch bands?
Yeah, and I also have I go to a pitching coach
Okay.
that does hitting and pitching.
All right, there you go. What's your favorite part about baseball? Like, what's your favorite part of the game?
My teammates.
Yeah, that's cool. You guys spend a lot of time together, I'm sure, traveling every place, right?
Yeah, especially at tournaments.
Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite place you've been so far? For a tournament?
Definitely Cal Ripken. Ripken.
Yeah, Ripken. When were you last there? Just recently, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I thought so. That's awesome. Yeah, that place is really cool. I've actually been there myself. Those fields are really, really nice.
Yeah, some of that. They're making actually all of them turf.
Oh, they're turning them into turf now. Are they already turf, or they're doing it right now?
Well, they're turning most of them into turf.
I see. Okay. Yeah, when I was there years ago, it was all still pretty much grass, but that's interesting. What's been your favorite part of this season so far?
Tournaments.
Any particular one?
Definitely Ripken because I spend a lot of time with teammates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like older teams, all that play for OC Smash and youngers.
So you got all kind of to hang together then.
Yeah.
How often do you see some of the other teams that aren't your own age group?
Well, sometimes we have like tournaments that we see other teams at that are Smash related.
Other Smash teams, sure. Cool. What's who's your favorite Major League player?
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. You and everyone else. Is there like an Aaron Judge fan club with the Smash? I feel like everyone says Aaron Judge.
Well, apparently.
I guess so, right? Yeah. Although we just had Bryce Seabury on from the 9U squad. He's an Anthony Volpe guy, so that's my first vote for Volpe.
Yeah.
See, I'm a Met fan, so I like Pete Alonso, but
well, yep, the Met fans.
Yeah, Met fans. Hey, got to be some of us, right?
Yep.
Hey, what's what would you say the hardest part of playing? What's the hardest defensive position for you to play? Which one do you find most challenging of the positions you play defensively?
Catcher.
Yeah.
Because you have to like slide, block all the balls.
Yeah. Do you you talk about Aaron Judge, when you watch him play, is there anything about his game that you try to like copy?
Well, his hitting, definitely.
That's a good thing to copy. Start hitting some home runs. Yeah. So what's I think I guess the last thing I want to ask you is, as far as the your approach at the plate, how do you approach an at bat? Like, what's your general approach?
Well, general approach is just swinging for base hits, and you never know, you might get lucky, hit a double, triple, maybe even a home run.
So just put the bat on the ball, try to make solid contact.
Yeah. And also the shoulder back, hands back.
Awesome. I think that makes a lot of sense. Hey, last thing before I let you go, if you could pick one baseball memory, like one like play or game or maybe a league title, what's been your favorite baseball moment so far?
When I threw a no-hitter and hit a grand slam in the same tournament.
Oh man, that's wild. Well, so they were different games of the same tournament, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Which one happened first?
The grand slam was first, and then I threw the no-hitter in the championship.
Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you know you were throwing a no-hitter or what?
No, because that was an 8U.
Okay.
I didn't even know what it meant.
You didn't even know. That's probably better. Yeah, I always find it funny when I watch one on TV and they after like the 6th inning, no one will talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, very good. Hey, enjoy the rest of your season. Thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Alrighty. That is Hunter Leal. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All righty, we are back, and there was a death of a legend about a week ago or so, and I wanted to point this out. I've been waiting for the right time, and that legend briefly played, very briefly, with the Minneapolis Lakers. So, guy was old, but he is more famous for not his ability to run, but his ability to hold and stay still and not give off any emotions. And that is the godfather of professional poker, Doyle Brunson, passed away at the age of 89. And I bring this up for two reasons. One, I'm an avid poker player, and I just wanted to make a mention of it. But the reason this isn't just in news you can use, and it's more of a segment, is I think he is singularly responsible for why what I'll call a niche sport that has, if you want to even call it a sport, but just for the sake of argument, I'm just using that term. I don't really believe it to be one, but I'm just going to use that term. Not only is it a niche game, but it's also a game that at one point had a big fever pitch of popularity, and that is the one that has sustained. And I think the reason why it's sustained a high degree of relevance past its 15 minutes of fame is because there was a known notable face, several of them, Doyle chief among them, that people associate with it. Whereas I think pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the world right now in the US, but unless it gets an identifiable face that the average person knows, when this growth spurt flames out, and it will, it's going to recede much further back than poker receded after its ball of fire. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that there was an identifiable face or faces, and Doyle was chief among them. And pretty much anyone associated with poker will tell you that.
Absolutely. Everyone knew who he was.
Right.
Everyone knew who he was.
I mean, he was so lovable.
Oh, yeah, and great on camera.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. Yeah, he was tremendous.
I know you're quicker to dismiss pickleball, but Rick Barry may end up being that face.
Yeah, but even most basketball people barely know who he is. Like, but most basketball fans, I mean, not basketball people that work in the game, I'm just talking about in general. I'm talking about a guy that if I set up a lineup, the average person would pick Doyle Brunson out of it. Whereas I don't know that these other sports, whether it's pickleball or I know at one point the Tour de France was kind of this, and then they cut off their own lifeline because they're geniuses and no one's heard of.
They had their name.
Yeah, and they executed them themselves. That was smart. I know. Let's kill the one person everyone in our sport knows, because that's gonna make us better, right? I haven't heard about it in 15 years.
No, I mean, does anyone even watch it
No,
anymore?
you don't even know if it's on TV. I mean, I don't even know. You probably have to find some like random like pirate website to watch it if you wanted to.
I'm sure it's on some channel
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's on ESPN 8, the Oat Show, right after Dodgeball. Oh God. But I just wanted to mention that. I mean, he was a guy that I enjoyed watching on television. I really did. I went through a phase where I watched a lot of poker on TV. right around the same time everyone else did, 2003 to
we all
about
did.
2007, like everyone else did. The only difference is one of my close personal friends actually played for a living for a number of years and then is now a dealer. So I've kept up awareness of the game more than maybe some people just because I have friends who are really into it and I enjoy playing, but I haven't sat and like watched a tournament. Like I was into like Lon McCarron and Norman Chad and oh, it was so much fun. I got into it for a while. But anyway, Doyle had a lot to do with that. So rest in peace to Doyle Brunson. A great American original.
Oh yeah.
Long good life. So oh, there was a funny tweet his son tweeted shortly after he died. Something to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't have it in front of me, but basically it was something to the effect of, thank you for the condolences. We're upset, we're devastated. We'll have more to say. I wasn't ready to go yet. This is his son, Todd, writing as Doyle, right? Under Doyle's Twitter account. He said, I wasn't ready to go yet. In fact, I was planning on playing some of these events this year, but I saw what at Mike Mattisell, one of the other players, I guess he hosts a tournament. I saw what Mike Mattisell's upcharge was going to be at the Omaha High Low, and my heart just gave out.
That's good.
So always a sense of humor right down to the last. Of course, that was written by his son, Todd, who him and Mike apparently are like close friends. So it was taken in the right spirit. Yes.
That is very funny.
All right. So there's that. So what do we got in hockey going on right now?
Florida beat Carolina last night.
Okay.
1-0.
Yep.
I think their goalie, Sergei Bobrovsky, has about 1 million consecutive minutes of not being scored on. He's playing out of his mind. Florida, an 8 seed, is up 3 games to none. And if you heard any of the intermissions, so much of the talk was about the Miami Heat. Because Gretzky's saying, as long as we're in town, let's go to the game tonight.
Yep. Why not, right?
I mean, because it's in between day. And of course, they were showing Jimmy Butler warming up in Matthew Tkachuk hockey jersey before the game.
There you go. What's been, I guess, the defining storyline of the NHL playoffs so far? It has to be Boston losing, right?
Florida beat Boston in the first round.
Right.
And everybody talked about it. Was this monumental upset. I've seen teams that win the President's Trophy flame out in the playoffs many years.
Well, Tampa did that just a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Yeah. And Florida won the East last year in the regular season and only got to the second round. They were an 8 seed because they had a lot of injuries during the season. So this doesn't surprise me at all. Just like I said about the Heat, they're not an ordinary 8 seed.
Right.
This team could beat anyone, and they're up 3 games to nothing, just like the Heat are.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, they don't even play in the same building, but the players all know each other, and Gretzky and Bissonnette and all the Anson Carter and all the NHL guys on the panel were talking about going to the Heat game tonight. And someone said something about tickets, and Gretzky looked at him like, I don't need a tickets.
Look, you know who I am? You think I need tickets?
I could get into anything.
Oh, that's so funny. One of my favorite stories was forget needing a ticket during his, I think it was rookie year. John Stockton was coming into the arena and he was like literally stopped by security. They wouldn't even let him in. They had to like go and get Frank Layden, and like Frank had to be like, "No, really, he's on the team." It's like talk about disrespect.
The pasty gangster. He did not look like he belonged on that
That's
team
the-
until he got on the court.
Until he started going out there and kicking people's butts. Chris
Yeah.
Webber tells a funny story about that. Near the end of Stockton's career, it was probably like 2000, 2001. Webber had just joined the Kings, and he got his group together and goes, like the young players, he goes, "Watch this guy right here." He's telling them, he's like, "This guy's gonna come out here in a minivan, bunch of kids in the back seat, pop him out. He's gonna walk in here in tight jeans. He's gonna go out there and kick our butts and walk back out and go into his minivan and take his kids home like he's some like soccer dad." And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Stockton had like 15 points and like 18 assists. And Weber's like, "That dude right there is a bad dude coming up here in the minivan with the kids in the back seat like he's going to a soccer game. He's gonna go out there and kick our butts." Great story.
That was John Stockton, 100%.
Great,
But yeah,
great story.
that was the game last night.
Yep.
Tonight, the Vegas Golden Knights, another non-traditional hockey market, have a 2-0 lead, and they're in Dallas to play the Stars.
Mhm.
I never want to see sweeps, but I want to see 2 this year. Just because. And I picked Carolina to win the East at the beginning of the season, and I still want to see Florida do it.
Speaking of Vegas, the Oakland A's reportedly made a major step toward a stadium funding deal in Vegas, by apparently accepting less public money than they initially sought. The team
Yes.
and key stakeholders agreed to a legislative package expected to be introduced this week. According to the Nevada Independent, the state would offer a little less than $195 million maximum. It was reportedly willing to contribute. So that's that was going to be like their top number. It's going to be a little less than that. And Clark County is going to provide less than $200 million in bonds. The agreement was reached through conversation between the team and Governor Joe Lombardo's office. And anyway, there's a presentation to the full Nevada legislature anticipated this upcoming week, maybe as early as June 5th, to approve the deal. So we'll keep an eye on this, and we'll see where it goes and where the final numbers land. But the A's are expected to ask for an exception to the 9% live entertainment tax on tickets. So we'll see if they get that. But
I don't know if they're going to get that because that's how so many things are funded.
right. Yeah. That's a pretty high percentage too. For like a I don't know, is that a local or is that a Nevada
We pay
state thing?
8.75 in this state. You buy a ticket for something.
Yeah, I guess
Plus
that's true.
fees.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think it's that far out of line.
There was a funny meme making fun of Ticketmaster a while ago. It was like it's like ticket to the game, $45. Ticket fee, $5. Processing fee, $3. One extra fee isn't gonna hurt you, $1.
Yeah.
Fee, fee, $2. What the F you gonna do about it? Fee. It was
and then there was one more saying, "Just because we can."
just because we can fee. It's so true. You read some of these things. Cable bills or cell phone bills are the worst at that. It's like you read, if you actually like go through the bill, like especially cell phone bills, go through those like with a fine-tooth comb. Some of the stuff in there is ridiculous.
See, T-Mobile doesn't let you do that.
Yeah.
Here's your price.
Right. Well, I think that's
They
become
don't break it down.
Yeah, I think that's become more normal now. Because not Verizon, Spectrum, who I have, is the same way. But but yeah, there was a time when there would be like a page and a half of like random stuff, and it may as well just say, "What are you gonna do about a fee?" Just because we can fee 50 fum fee.
I think for our two T-Mobile plans of unlimited everything, we pay $90 a month.
That's not bad. Yeah, we're about the same with Spectrum.
And that's because I get the old person discount
Good job.
over 55.
Hey, there you go. You made it this far. That's right.
Yeah, have a cheaper phone.
That's right. That's
We're gonna
right.
double the price of your groceries, but have a cheaper phone.
Oh, goodness. All right. What do we got for some news we can use?
Something interesting that I saw, a proposed trade, which I don't understand at all, between the Golden State Warriors and the Toronto Raptors,
Okay.
where the Warriors would send Jonathan Kuminga,
Mm-hmm.
which is what the Raptors need, another athletic wing, and Jordan Poole to the Raptors for
Siakam?
Anunoby.
Anunoby. Ooh.
They feel that Curry needs more wing help,
Mm-hmm.
and they were kind of disappointed in
Jordan Poole.
what Jordan Poole did this year. And I was curious about your thoughts.
I mean, it does make sense for both teams' rosters.
It does. I think Kuminga would have a chance to blossom.
Yeah. The only thing
And everyone feels Poole needs a fresh start.
The only thing there's two things that I question about this. One, if Golden State is selling at the bottom of the market with Poole. I think Anunoby's a decent return, but based on where Poole's trajectory was less than a calendar year ago, they could be selling at the bottom of the market here a little bit.
Did you like his game this year?
Earlier in the season, it looked okay, but no, this year he wasn't as good as last year. That's what I'm saying. But
and there were issues in the locker room. So,
well, yeah, the guy that caused those issues though is still going to be there. He'll just punch the next guy.
True. Well, that's a mistake.
So
I give Steve Kerr a lot of credit for coming out and saying that after the playoffs too.
Yeah, I was surprised he actually admitted that. I was surprised at that too. I give him a lot of credit for that one also.
I wasn't surprised. I think he just knew.
Well, it was obvious to anyone that watched the team all year. But I was surprised he publicly said that. But
yeah.
The other thing, my other question about it for Toronto is they're gonna, if they're not careful, they're gonna have a whole roster full of guys who are all exactly the same type of player, same general style. They're gonna have what's his name? Kuminga. They're gonna have Siakam. They're gonna have Scotty Barnes. They're gonna have all these guys that are basically wing guys. And now they're gonna have two guards in Van Vliet and Poole.
Well, Van Vliet's a free agent.
Yeah, so maybe they're gonna lose him. So maybe that's okay.
That's what the thinking
Yeah,
is.
okay. All right, that makes more sense then. Oh yeah, so I guess that's okay. I still think Toronto desperately needs like real front court help, like badly. In fact, if I was Toronto, I know he can at times play below his size, but I would be more interested in I know he's been thrown out there in the trade rumor mill. I would be more interested in making a similar trade for Karl Anthony Towns than it would be Jordan Poole. I think he fits their roster better. I think he's better than Poole, more dependable, like I'm more of a known entity. And I would make that move.
He's terrible defensive. Absolutely.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. But so is Jordan Poole.
He couldn't guard us.
Jordan Poole's the same way. Poole could guard us, but he won't. Cat can't.
Right.
I don't know what's worse.
How about these Celtics quotes? Marcus Smart quote: "Don't let us get one." Jaylen Brown: "Don't let us win tonight." What is that? A threat or a cry for help?
Come on.
Are they pleading with the Heat?
Yeah, please.
please.
Put us out of our misery. Don't let it happen. Don't do it to us.
And you're talking an awful lot that you have so far have had nothing to back it up with.
It's rough. I mean, like I said earlier, at least the Lakers, even though they got swept, were competitive in every single game. These guys haven't been competitive all series.
Very true.
All right, we got time for maybe one more if you got it.
DeMar Hamlin was back on the field
Okay.
today in OTAs. It was just good to see.
Yep.
And let me throw one more quick one at you. What's gaining steam around the 49ers? Sam Darnold is their starting quarterback.
No. I mean, it's better than Lance, but you know what?
That's all you've got?
If there's one place that he could look okay, it's there. But that's not good. Bad news. I'm surprised.
Purdy's going to miss a lot.
Yeah. It's a bad injury.
I think they don't have any confidence in Lance.
Well, how could you? I mean, I don't know. It just was a dumb thing to draft him. I would have kept Jimmy. Jimmy Garoppolo is a good enough quarterback for that team to win a Super Bowl as that team is built. He is. There's no, and I know he's got an injury problem, so you have to have a good backup. I agree with that. But
right,
like make that backup a backup, not a quarterback controversy guy. See, if I were them, and I don't usually like to like call guys out of the retirement home, but I think they're so close, and I think these quarterbacks are so bad, and he's from the state. I would plead with Phillip Rivers to play 1 year out of retirement and get that elusive Super Bowl. I think he's still better than anyone on their roster, and he's the missing piece. And that's the missing piece of his career. You're not going to have to be the guy, just be better than the guys we have.
He doesn't have to get by Brady.
Right. I would make one call to Phillip Rivers and be like, yo, you want now or never? You want to give this one try? 1 year. You got 9,000 kids. So, like, I'm sure you're stressed. Like, come escape for a year.
Well, Purdy's not going to start throwing a half-weighted football until the end of June.
Right.
He probably won't be ready for practice until like August, which means he probably won't play until October.
Right. And I think there's still questions.
They must feel that Sam Darnold is a better option for the first 4 weeks.
And I don't disagree with that. I mean, I think I have more confidence in Sam Darnold than Trey Lance. Trey Lance reminds me of another former Jet. He reminds me, and I remember having a lot of discussions, heated at times, with my friend Phil about this very thing. Phil watches a lot of college football. He loves college football. I think it's his favorite sport. And he kept saying, wait for Petty to be ready. Wait for Petty to be ready. And I finally just said, if he's not beating out Geno Smith, Christian Hackenberg, and whoever the hell the other guy, who's like the third or fourth string quarterback, I was like, he's never going to be ready. If Trey Lance is going to necessitate the Niners to go sign Sam Darnold off the scrap heap, let's just cut him and be done with it. If Sam Darnold is preferable, having been a total outsider to the organization, if he's preferable, then Lance is never going to be the guy. Like, let's pretend we didn't even draft him. Just forget it. We burned those draft picks. End of story.
Gave up a lot of draft picks to get him,
too. But you burned them. You can't do anything about them. They're gone. What other quick little story? My pastor at my church he's hilarious. He's very funny. We were going through the book of Daniel about the whole guys in the furnace not getting burned. And my pastor was setting up the story, and he was talking in the third person as King Nebuchadnezzar. And he said, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to make an ash out of you.
That's
thinking about the dad jokes that won me Renegade tickets.
That's a good one.
I said, I'm going to use that one. I told him that day too. I said, I'm going to steal that, just so you know. So good stuff. What are you watching tonight?
Game 3 in the NHL, game 4 in the NBA.
There you go. I'm watching the Mets play the Cubs after an off day. Tyler McGill has owned this Cubs lineup. There's only one guy who's had any experience against them, and that's Dansby Swanson, who's lifetime 1 of 7, and everyone else has never hit against him before. So I'm expecting him to pitch well. And more importantly, the guy, I think it's Smiley, Drew Smiley, going for the Cubs, is really bad against a lot of these Met hitters. In fact, one of my favorite guys, Francisco Lindor, is 333 lifetime against him, and he's not even the best. The best guy is Eduardo Escobar, who's getting the start tonight, I'm sure because of his history against Smiley. Check this out. Escobar in his lifetime is 8 of 14 with 4 home runs against Smiley.
Jeez.
I'm thinking Drew won't be smiling tonight. We'll see.
He's actually pitched well this year, but he has never done that well against the Mets.
Yeah, the Mets have 5 guys with really good history against them. So and a lot of at bats. So we'll see. Gary Sanchez is starting for the Mets. If you want a trip down memory lane, Yankee fans, go check out the Mets tonight. Gary Sanchez is striking out for them tonight. 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. Or he might be 0 for 4 with 5 Ks. He's just good enough to do that. Yeah, he struck out so bad, we're going to count it twice.
Well, why not?
Anyway, all right. Well, that
sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Oh, what a mess. All right. Well, that does it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy the games tonight. We'll see you then.